Ladies and gentlemen, I got great news for you. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're collapsing, okay? Plain and simple. And if you're one of those Ravens fans that doesn't hate the Pittsburgh Steelers for some reason, then I'm just going to tell you right now, you should go ahead and log off, okay? Because we're about to break it all down about how I truly don't believe from here on out that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be that much of a problem for the Baltimore Ravens, at least for the 2025 NFL season. Before we go any further, though, can we get more subscribers off of our George Pickens video than Steelers Talk did on their George Pickens video? They got 41 subs earlier today. Can we get 50? Okay? We already know that we're better than they are. Let's rub it in. Put the nail in the coffin. Kick them while they're down, if you will. Go ahead and give me 50 subs off today's video. If you have not subscribed yet, perfect time to do so and hit that big red sub button. So the trade, here it is, happened very early this morning. Shout out to Slick Rick for having the scoop before anybody else did. The Steelers got a 3rd-round pick in 2026, a 5th-round pick in 2027. The Cowboys get George Pickens to pair up with CeeDee Lamb, and they also got a 2026 6th-round selection. George Pickens has pretty much been the only competent thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense in what seems like the last 3 years, ever since he joined that team. 900 yards this past year, 3 touchdowns. The year prior to that, 1,140 yards, 5 touchdowns with the entire quarterback debacle that they had. And now you look at their wide receiver room. Sure, they added in DK Metcalf this offseason. That's great. But now they have Robert Woods, who it seems like he's been on 7 teams the last 7 years. They have Calvin Austin III, who every single night they're praying for some kind of a breakout season. Their 4th best wide receiver is Roman Wilson, a guy that no one in the entire planet Earth has ever even watched make a play. And then what? Ben Skowronek is their 5th best wide receiver? I mean, what are they thinking? What are they doing? I get it. George Pickens is a little bit of a head case. But if you're trying to get Aaron Rodgers and you're trying to go all in this year and you think that this might be the year to do something, then what good is it trading away your 2nd best wide receiver, a guy who I still kind of believe is probably a top 20 wide receiver in the game? And I get it. They don't want to pay him in the future. So just don't pay him this year. Play it out with 2 really dominant wide receivers on the same team. See if you can get Aaron Rodgers in the building and see if you can make some magic happen. They don't. They trade him for a bag of peanuts, and now they got to roll with this offense, who you look at the running back room, and it's not that much better. Jaylen Warren, your running back 1A. Caleb Johnson, your running back 1B. And I actually think Jaylen Warren is a lot better than most people think he is. I think he's got a lot of really good bursts. I'm excited to see what Caleb Johnson is able to do in this league. But, guys, outside of DK Metcalf right now, this offensive roster has nothing. There is a massive, massive silver lining to all of this as well. It's not just fantastic news for us Ravens fans that George Pickens is now off of their football team, but also Pickensburg is having a little bit of a crash out. And I think we can all very much enjoy seeing that. He said if George Pickens gets traded, consider this account deactivated. Please, Lord, my job here is done if Pickens is no longer on the team. Then he tweeted out, I'm taking a dive in the how do you pronounce it? Allegheny River. Thank you so much. That was from 7:12 a.m. this morning. Pickensburg woke up to some pretty horrific news. And then this is the most ridiculous tweet of them all. And I am offended by this tweet as a Dallas Mavericks fan. He says, this is 100 times worse than the Luka trade. Now, of course, all of that is satirical. He doesn't actually truly mean that. And if he does, he's really, truly a psychopath. But it's great to see that not only is this great news for Baltimore and the fact that they don't have to go up against a really good wide receiver every single year in George Pickens, but also everybody's least favorite Twitter account is probably going to be off of the Twitter sphere. Praise the Lord again. And then you look in their quarterback room. And if this isn't the most sorry quarterback room in the National Football League, then I don't know what is. Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson. Okay. it blows my mind. It truly does. And I get it. They're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers, but now you got to ask, like, what's going on with that entire situation? It seemed like for a long time, since like January, everybody and their mom has thought Aaron Rodgers is eventually going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Maybe he's going to sign at Pat McAfee's big event. Maybe he's going to sign right after the NFL draft. And now the maybes are turning to, maybe it'll be after mandatory minicamp. It's just going to go maybe, until ultimately, possibly he retires, which he mentioned on the Pat McAfee show as well. I'm open to anything and attached to nothing. Retirement could still be a possibility. And look, I'm here to tell you, if they still land Aaron Rodgers, there is a silver lining to it all because their offensive line still sucks, and Arthur Smith is still their offensive coordinator. So now Aaron Rodgers, without two wide receiver threats in DK Metcalf and George Pickens, I'm not that scared of. Like, in my opinion, they sign Rodgers. Their ceiling is 10 wins again because it's Mike Tomlin, and that's just kind of what they do. Their floor is 5 wins. And if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, their ceiling is 7 wins and their floor is like 4. And everybody's going to have their problems with that and saying in the comment section, Joey, Aaron Rodgers is still a good quarterback. Guys, he won 5 games last year with Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. And a pretty decent defense with the New York Jets. And now you look at these two teams, and again, this is all speculatory, but even with Aaron Rodgers, you are better in every single aspect except probably the wide receiver one in DK Metcalf. But if you had to take their wide receiver room or Baltimore's wide receiver room, I'm taking Baltimore's wide receiver room every single day. That offense is a joke, okay? As of right now, it goes Mason Rudolph, Jaylen Warren, not a really great offensive line, and then Calvin Austin III, Roman Wilson, and DK Metcalf. It's a wonderful day to be a Baltimore Ravens fan. That's all I got to say. I need you guys to make the call for me. Do the Steelers go below 500 in 2025? Is this finally the year that the Mike Tomlin streak ends and the Mike Tomlin era is over in Pittsburgh? You let me know by giving me a yes or no in the comment section down below. While you guys are down there in the comments, you might see a link to this awesome jersey. You can get your Malachi Starks jersey right now if you go to chatsports.com/Starks. Not only do you get a sweet piece of Ravens merch, you also get to help out the show right here at the Ravens Rundown, help out the channel at Chat Sports, help keep the lights on, bring on new people, grow the company, all that great stuff. I'm really excited about the prospect of Malachi Starks. I think he's going to be phenomenal in this Ravens defense. And if you want to support him and also support the show, chatsports.com/Starks is where you need to go. To be the best, wear the best, feel the best, all that over at Fanatics. Again, the link is in the promo code, and the link is in the comments and description of today's video. The great thing about it also is, the Steelers aren't really the only team in the AFC North that's kind of not have their stuff figured out over the last couple of months. Von Bell took a massive pay cut for Cincinnati. So that could mean something. Maybe an extension is coming for Trey Hendrickson. But also how everything's happened with Trey Hendrickson over the last couple of months, where their external VP literally went on and was quoted saying, I think at some point it's just up to him to be happy. Maybe we'll figure it out. About extending a guy who's had back-to-back 17-sack seasons. And then don't even get me started on the Cleveland Browns, selecting Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, a guy who was maybe a 5th-round talent at best. Then, of course, they had in Shedeur Sanders. Outside of that, I honestly thought Cleveland had a pretty good draft, but it's going to take 100 good drafts for the Cleveland Browns to be relevant again in football. Let's just be honest. That's it for today's show. George Pickens is not a Pittsburgh Steeler, which is fantastic because that means that Baltimore doesn't have to go up against him 2 times a year. And even if they did, I'm really excited about this new secondary unit, new defensive back group. So I think they'd be able to hold their own. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Join us right here at the Ravens Rundown for everyday coverage of your favorite team.